This one is all about saving time with content creation by starting with video. And this is really cool. If you're doing a lot of content creation, starting with video is actually much better in terms of leveraging your time because you can talk faster than you can write. If you do blog posts on a regular basis and that's the way you think. Now, writing and thinking kind of go together and you flow with your hands into what you're thinking and you write. So translating that and doing that with video instead is sometimes a different leap, and some people won't want to do it. But again, you actually talk faster than you write. So you're able to create a blog post much faster if you talk it out than you have if you just initially write it. Now you can go off and edit it afterwards, but the beauty of this is twofold. One, it's much like a comedian, and I'm going to explain the process of how you would do this and also look at doing it as an experiment instead of just saying, okay, I'm not going to do it because I write and that's what I do. So you're not going to do that at all. But if you do it as an experiment and try the process at least for 30 days, maybe longer, you'll find that it'll actually help you in a couple different ways. And here's what I mean. One, when you talk out your ideas, oftentimes like a comedian, you'll lay the groundwork for what you like of those ideas and what you don't like. And talking it out is much easier when you're talking with someone. So here's how it would work. With your Facebook Lives, you can either go live or you can record just yourself. You would do your live and have your bullet points of what you want to say. And then you just take someone in your audience, like let's say you're answering a question, you're going off of an FAQ. Then what you would do is basically pull in that person and pretend like you're talking to them. And then you're explaining the idea to a specific person, and your idea and examples have much more relevance than to a broader audience. And then, it applies to a broader audience, but that's what you do. You think of that person, you do a Facebook Live recording just to yourself. Now, when you do it just to yourself, then you're able to download that and then use that video. And here's the beauty of it. One, you like a comedian, you're refining your ideas. And two, you can actually take little parts of that video that you've created, that you've recorded just to yourself, and you can actually use those as snippets with social media. So you can put a snippet, just a small little video snippet, and it teases people for the rest of the blog post. And then it's easier to drive traffic there. Over time, of course, you can actually get good at doing the video and just using the video. But the speed at which you're able to talk out ideas, being able to refine them during the editing process, because once you download your video, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be dictating to get that transcribed. And it's a very easy process, and it's actually part of the refining process. It works beautifully because what you're doing is you're taking that video, you're listening to it in your headphones, and you're talking out what you've just spoken into your dictation. Like Mac or PC will have a dictation function, and it's not perfect, but it works pretty well. And you basically listen to what you had said, repeat that, and your computer will dictate it out. Now, what happens is you listen to those ideas again, and it's like doing a rough draft and then hearing it again. And it helps you refine ideas and make them tighter. And at the same time, you've got this great long dictation that you can then use within your blog post, refine it, edit it, all that stuff. But that whole process of starting with video means you're talking, a lot faster. And so you're able to get a lot more ideas out. And you might find that you're expanding on things a little bit more than you might otherwise. Then it also gets you to start using video because you're using those snippets, or you're using the complete video in social media or elsewhere. So it's a beautiful process, and it works really well, but it takes some practice, meaning you might get discouraged at first. Having those ideas out there, first of all, you're going to get maybe a little bit overwhelmed like this, right? But then after that overwhelm, it's a matter of like, okay, I can do this. Let's just see how. And so it's bringing in and allowing for a different process that we expand your creative abilities and don't just rely upon one medium, but you're also able to repurpose that much more easily. You can use some of the images within your video. You can use the complete video. You can use snippets of the video. And then when you're repurposing your content elsewhere, you just have more to choose from. You can also use the audio and have a little snippet or the complete thing as an audio so people can listen to it. So it's a great form to start with video and then go from there, rather than just writing it out. And then it's much harder to go through that process of refining those words within video, because you're going to start and stop, and you get all worried about saying the exact thing that you need to say. Whereas if you're just going off the cuff, if you're going off of those bullet points, you say much more organically what you want to say, and it helps you kind of refine your ideas and also present them in a way that's a little more authentic than the polished and the video that's totally polished and you get in front of your audience. It's a fun process. Again, it's not for everybody, but if you try it as an experiment, you'll find that you're able to have more media to repurpose your content and send it out with social media. And you've introduced something that, hands down, you're going to be using on an ongoing basis, because video is so huge. Like if you don't get into the game of using video now, it's gonna become much harder later to start using that. So highly recommend starting with video and going through the process, doing a Facebook Live, and even if it's just to yourself, and refining those ideas and getting down, doing dictation to get the ideas out. It's a fast process. And then going ahead and repurposing by using little snippets of the video that you recorded for just yourself. Use that on social media, get people back to your blog post. And after a while, expand out and start doing YouTube, start doing, other places so you get your content out there. Because most people, if you realize, most people will spend 80% of their time creating their content and only 20% kind of getting out there. Really, it should be flipped. So that's what I wanted to put out there for you. Try it as an experiment. It's enjoyable if you allow for the process and for a little bit of frustration, and then you get the process down and it becomes much more fluid. So